Happy Tuesday. We are on day 83 of the year. It is the 24th of March. It's another grey and cloudy day here in Bulgaria. How's the weather where you are? Did you get outside and get some sunshine this morning, or at least go outside, listen to the birds, take a deep breath, check in with yourself in the natural world to start out your day? If you haven't done that yet, I recommend that you do it. Or perhaps you can sit outside while we read together this morning. As I said, we're on day 83 of the year, and our word in 365 Tao by Deng Ming Tao is parting. So find a nice quiet and comfy place. If that can be outside, that's a great way to start your day. Somewhere you're not going to be disturbed, somewhere you can be comfortable and quiet. Relax, take some nice deep breaths in with long exhales out. Remember, that's the best way to tell your brain it's time to down-regulate and relax. Get your books ready, get your journals ready, and let's start reading together on the 83rd day of the year, and the subject is parting. You and I assumed forever when we became companions, but now, unhappy, you are leaving. The sky turns to a bitter cadence, unslaked by resignation. There are times when we have been lucky enough to have companions on our spiritual path, but the time of parting often comes without welcome. When our friends decide to leave, we are often left with doubt, confusion, and sometimes guilt. Anyone may leave the path. They won't suffer damnation. They will only walk a different path. So that's something to think about if you've ever had to say goodbye to a friend, or perhaps end a friendship, or a family member, or somebody who's close to you. Sometimes it's not the best, it's not the choice that you want to make, but it's an option that, has to be chosen for reasons that are, outside of your control, or to enforce a boundary, or for your own well-being, or for a number of reasons. And as it says here, it often comes without welcome, so it's sometimes not a very comfortable thing to have to do. But as it says here, we were just walking a different path. We're all unique individuals, we're all unique human beings, and our differences are what makes us unique and different. So sometimes we have to choose to walk a different path from somebody, even if we love them very much. And that can be, as it says here, without welcome. Let's continue. The rule for those who follow Tao is this: walk the path together as long as you can, and when you must part, never hold your companion back. Wow, that's really, really beautiful. I think I'm going to pull that out as one of my journaling prompts for today. I'm going to reread it. Walk the path together as long as you can, and when you must part, never hold your companion back. Should one seek to have no feelings at all regarding friends? After all, the sages constantly warn against attachment. Yet emotion is part of what makes us human. We may understand philosophically why a companion must leave, but we need not deny our feelings as we walk on alone. Wow, this is really resonating with me at the moment. I've had to walk away from some very long-term friendships and relationships in my life recently, particularly in the last couple of years. Everybody told me that that's something that typically happens when you reach middle age, and I just turned 45, and it's pretty interesting just to see the way that people's paths in lives become different. And sometimes you look back on a relationship and the time that you're spending with someone, and you realize it's not because you actually have anything in common on your path now. You're still referring to a path when you've met, which was maybe 15, 20, 10, even 5 years ago. And as the process of life and the evolution and changing and becoming different better versions of ourselves, sometimes as we evolve, sometimes as we change, our paths just go in a different direction than other people. And that doesn't mean that they're a bad person, doesn't mean that you're a bad person. It's not necessarily even a bad thing. It's just the fact that, as it says here earlier, you're different. And if you're changing and you're evolving and your life is going in a different direction than somebody else, as it says here, it's not always a welcome thing. Sometimes, yes, it can be very sad. And as it says here, as humans, we have emotions around that. And we should always, never deny our feelings, especially when it comes to relationships and people that are special to us. But as it says here, when we know it's time to part, when you must part, never hold your companion back. And that's also, as it says here, warning against attachment. Don't hang on to something just because you've done it for so long. Don't hang on to those friendships with people that perhaps, you know, the relationship isn't functioning in the present moment anymore. You're just attaching to how it was in the past. And you need to have the discernment to distinguish that as well as you're moving through life. And if you're starting to have disagreements with people, or the relationships perhaps feeling a little bit different, acknowledge the fact that you're just becoming different people. You're evolving in different ways. Your paths are going somewhere differently. Doesn't have to be a bad thing. Of course, it might be emotional. It might be sad. You might feel, upset about it, but you should never be attached, and you should never hold anybody back. So that's a lot to think about. And if this resonates with you today, perhaps you're going through something similar in your life, or you have been recently, like I have, I invite you to reread this in your own time and just reflect on what jumps out to you, and perhaps journal about it. If there's one specific relationship or one specific person that perhaps this resonates with you, that what you're going through, just read this and think about that and reflect on it and write about it in your journal and see what comes up. So this is a beautiful passage about, relationships, attachment, walking together when we can, and then understanding that sometimes we don't want to hold each other back and it's time to part ways, and it's all good. It's just all part of life. And as we're humans, we should never deny our feelings about those things either. So on that note, I wish you a beautiful, beautiful Tuesday. Thank you so much for being here for 83 days of this year, and I will check